place in Qatar. Well, let's get a further assessment on COP17 and particularly the impact on Africa. And joining us now is Agustino Zacharias, who is from the UN Development Programme. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us. I'm wondering to myself whether Africa, principally, and other developing nations are going to get what they want out of COP17.
I think there has been an agreement already in Cancun that the Green Climate Fund they should be created. That's one of the things that the Africans are insisting that it should be operationalized in Durban, creating the right structure and funding, capitalizing that fund. It should be pledges here in Durban, so they are waiting for that. And also on the other thorny issue, major issue, is the Kyoto Protocol, which they believe that at least they will get a commitment to a transitional period which should follow as a compromise. They wanted a second period commitment, but they might not get that, so they are hoping that there should be a transitional period.
Are you not concerned that there is too much deferral? We're talking about this global climate change fund where there is still principled disagreement about it. Much of the operational side, as we've just been reporting, might be deferred to COP18 in Qatar. Again, as far as the Kyoto Protocol is concerned, we're not necessarily going to get all the right elements of that extension that developing countries want. I mean, there's a problem here. We're just not making quick enough progress, are we?
Yes, it is a difficult and complex negotiations that need patience and time. But that is not all. I think if you hear the majority of voices in that room, they're saying we want this fund to be operationalized here. And they are driving closer and closer. I mean, the positions were too far maybe some time ago, but now they are getting closer and closer. Everybody wants this fund to be operationalized here in South Africa and so on.
What do you think the deadlock is, and how is the deadlock broken?
I think there are minor issues that need to be resolved. The accountability, there are countries that want the fund to be accountable to the COP, I mean the Conference of the Parties. And there are countries that want the fund to be autonomous, and Secretariat to be completely autonomous, and a board to be autonomous. The Africans in particular, and the G77, they don't want that position. They want an accountability to the COP. And the second issue is predictability of this funding. I mean, there are countries that are saying we need to know that these funds will be coming. If they deplete, you will replenish it. And that commitment needs to be made here.
Well, let's look specifically at that commitment. Let's try and take it away from the negotiating chambers and the behind closed door meetings. If agreement on this fund is not reached, what does it mean for the poorest of the poor in Africa in practical terms?
Oh, well, it's the consequences will be drastic for the African countries. And that's why some fearing that by opening too much the Pandora box, I mean by reopening the discussions, you may not get a decision made in Durban. So you want, and I think that many countries, in many developing countries, they want those decisions to be made here in Durban, provided that you can find a solution to some of these big issues that they are raising. You know, replenishment of funding is one, not complete autonomous of the Secretariat. This is another issue that they are raising.
Right.
And the other issues that the issue of private sector, too many windows, including the private sector benefiting, is not yet resolved. But as we're drawing closer to the end of this, I think delegations will come together, they will consult informally, people will have sleepless nights, and we will see decisions starting to get shape.
Thank you very much for joining us. And as you can hear from that interview, Nikki, we're still a long road to hoe as far as that global climate change fund is concerned.